Millie from Too Cool T-shirt Quilts. We get asked all the time, what's the difference between a Too Cool T-shirt quilt and a campus quilt? So here's a quick video to show you what the difference is. We went to Goodwill and got 2 groups of 15 identical t-shirts. We then sent 1 group to Campus Quilts, and we made a quilt out of the other group ourselves. So let's break down what the differences are. First, Campus Quilts uses 1 block size. This causes issues when you have really small designs or really large designs. Some can get cut off or the design can be floating in space. Too Cool T-shirt Quilts uses variable sized blocks. So the blocks are cut to fit your specific t-shirts. Let's compare this green shirt right here to this green shirt right there. They're the same thing, but look how big this block is and how small the design is. Where on our quilt, the block fits perfectly to the design. Now let's look at the Motorcycle Classic shirt. Ours is here at the bottom. You see the entire design, motorcycle, and all of the graphics. Up here, it gets cut off, and half the motorcycle is gone. If you love that shirt, you would be devastated that half the design was cut off. Next, let's talk about the materials used on the back of each quilt. Let's start with Campus Quilts. We selected the color Crimson, which is a dark red. The color we got was Mauve. That's pretty pink. If your son got this, would he be okay with having a pink backing when he expected a deep red? On the back of our quilt, we chose to use black because we have a lot more black in our quilt than we did the red. So we chose a nice solid black. Now let's look at the quilting. Let's start with the Campus Quilt. It has 5 rows of overall quilting. It's very sparsely quilted. You can see there's patches that don't get any quilting at all. Another thing about Campus Quilts quilting is they have used a basting stitch, which means every inch only gets 5 to 6 stitches in that inch. On the Too Cool T-shirt quilts, we use 11 stitches per inch as opposed to 5. 11 is the industry standard. Also, all of our Too Cool T-shirt quilts are quilted by an artist who has years of experience quilting. And every single block is unique. We even trace things that are so cool we can't resist. Check out this motorcycle that I traced. Next, let's talk about the batting. The batting is the layer in between your t-shirts and the backing. Campus Quilts uses 100% polyester batting. When you wash it, it kind of bunches up, and it also does a thing called bearding, where the fibers of the batting will come through the backing material, making a scratchy, yucky feeling quilt. Too Cool T-shirt Quilts uses Hobbs 80/20 cotton poly blend. And because of the cotton poly blend, our batting will never bunch up and it will never come through the back of your quilt. Our batting is slightly thinner than Campus Quilts. However, it is just as warm and just as cuddly. Next, let's talk about the binding. The binding is the thin strip of fabric that closes the 3 layers of batting, backing, and t-shirts. The binding on the Campus Quilts is what we call a half binding, meaning they take the fabric from the back of the quilt and pull it around to the front of the quilt to close the quilt. Your binding will always be the same color as your backing. There's no way to do a different color with a half binding. Too Cool T-shirt Quilts does what we call a full binding, meaning it is a separate piece of material that is sewn on to create the closing edge. With the full binding, you can do different colors, different patterns. It's a really fun design element that you get to choose and make your quilt even more unique. So now that we've talked about the craftsman differences, let's talk about the care differences. When you get your campus quilt back in the mail, you're gonna get a piece of paper that says dry clean only. The tag even says dry clean only. This means they didn't wash their backing before they made your quilt. So all that extra loose dye is still in the backing. So if you throw this in your washing machine, your gray shirts, your white shirts, they're gonna come out pink, just like your backing. However, on the Too Cool t-shirt quilt, we spend the extra time and that extra step to wash your backing, to set that extra dye so that this is completely machine washable. Take it to the gym, take it to the park, and then if it comes back dirty, throw it in your washing machine, just like you would any other quilt. Okay, now let's talk about the cost. The cost of a campus quilt is about half of what a Too Cool t-shirt quilt costs. But there are so many reasons. They use lower quality materials, such as their backing and their batting. They don't pre-wash their backing. Their sewing is easy. All you have to do is sew the strips together. Their quilting is done by a machine. No artist does this. The computer does it for them. On the Too Cool t-shirt quilt, everything is touched by a human. All of the quilting is done by artists. All of the puzzling together takes time and effort and love. We also pre-wash our backing so that your quilt is durable and long-lasting. This is an heirloom quality quilt. This might last a couple of years, but your t-shirts are important. What do you want to do? Do you want to have something you can hand down to your children and their children, or do you just want to enjoy it now? We have also compared our quilts to Project Repack. The link to that video is down below, so make sure you check that out before you think about getting a Project Repack blanket.